जय 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 राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय 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 जय राम जय राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय
ఎప్పటి పాడినరో అడియార్ ఎప్పటి పాడినరో అడియార్ ఎప్పటి పాడినరో அடியார் அப்படி பாடலால் ஆசை கொண்டேன் சிவனே எப்படி பாடினரோ அப்பரும் சகம பனி கருணை கடல் பெருகி நிதி சனித பனி நித பபகரி சகம பனி கருணை கடல் பெருகி கரி சனி சகிரி சனி ரித சனி த பரி சனி த பரி நித பபனி பனி கருணை கடல் பெருகி நிரிசா 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 ககிரி சனி சகிரி நிரிசா நிரிசா ககிரி சனி நிரிசா சனி த பனி சனி த பனி நித பபகரி சமகரி சனி அகக மம பபனி நித தம ககிரி சனி நித தம பம ககரி அகம பனி கருணை கடல் பெருகி காதலினால் முருகி கலித்தவி சொல்லினால் துணை அனுதினம் எப்படி பாடினரோ
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai 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 Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai
Hari Om.
Ram
No
Om.
sound, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, no, we are not able to hear.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om.
Pranam, Swamiji. Hari Om. Pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam. All right. Lina.
Lina.
Yes, Swamiji.
So yesterday we covered the first chapter, just for remembering the points. We will just read out the points. Utter helplessness leads to intense prayer from the bottom of the heart. Prayers are answered intuitively from the core of our being, the great void. Great void, a synonym of Ram, stands for the all-enveloping reality, which remains ever untouched, unaffected by the different characteristics that separate one from the rest, one form from the rest. Go to the source of everything. Intense faith leads to trust. Preparatory steps: fixed resolve, sustained faith, optimistic outlook, self-denial, satsang through swadhyaya. Code of conduct: simple living habits to gain more mind space for God remembrance. Introspection to know whether the me and mine sense of possession is reducing. Remember Him, be the period ever so small. When we go through In Quest of God, which was written by Papa in 1924 and came out in the form of a book in 1925. Today we are in 2025 after 100 years. We are asking ourselves in what way it is going to help us. When we ask questions, there could be so many answers from so many minds, but some of the answers which we got, we have put in. Not only we got, a number of people were involved in it, and then we compiled. So this is for us. This has to be borne in mind. First of all, we try to understand that there is a clarion call for all of us who are passing through stressful period, that serenity is an assured one, provided we train our equipment in such a way that it moves toward this serenity. It is not an easy joke. It is an uphill task. So what are they? So first prayer gives us this 9. It could be more, no? We have just jotted down 9 points. As a spiritual aspirant, it might help us. So that is the bhavana. Forget about the book. Forget about Papa. Forget about everything. In what way In Quest of God helps me now? Utter helplessness leads to intense prayer from the bottom of the heart. My prayer is not answered because it is not from the bottom of the heart. It has not come from the utter help. I still feel I can manage, I can answer, I can do. Utter helplessness means total reliance on Him. That is the meaning. And prayers are answered intuitively from the core of our being, great void. We will get it. And great void, a synonym of Ram, stands for the all-enveloping reality, which remains ever untouched and unaffected by the different characteristics that separate from one form to the other. Everything is contained. Go to the source of everything. Probably this must be the first one. Because then only we get some idea about what we are pursuing, Because an answer to this question from the intellectual plane, it could be easier than anything else. Because go to the soul, where from I have come from my parents. They have come from their parents. So we can keep on telling that there should be some starting point, otherwise we will not be here. We are here, in concrete form. So we must have a source. Papa names it as first source. Father and mother are only instrumental cause because they were also born to their parents. So the first parents we don't know. So this inquiry, leads to, then Bhagavad Gita comes, and then Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, he says, I am the eternal seed of everything. And then Papa gives us a clue that it's not an entity, it is subtle and mysterious power. That is our starting point. Because we did not have that idea, we have formed so many opinions, so many concepts. So to get out of it, it is not that easy. So we have to have some preparatory steps. So we must be firm to attain the ultimate, or to become aware of the ultimate. Fixed resolve, sustained faith in the words of all those who have awakened us, and then optimistic outlook. Those who have perseveringly taken up, they have met with success, including Papa. Optimistic outlook. And some self-denial is necessary with all the comfort zones. That comfort zone has occupied my mind space. So whenever there is a disturbance in the comfort zone, I am disturbed. So the best way is to have minimum, reduce the comfort zones. And satsang through Svadhyaya. Every now and then we try to go through the words of wisdom of those who have scaled the heights. That will keep our tempo alive. Then code of conduct, simple living habits, so that more and more space is given for God remembrance. Next is also very important. Just like in the academic career, every year we have an exam to evaluate to what extent we have been able to assimilate. That will only enable us to go to the next class. So this evaluation is necessary. So introspection to know whether the me and mine, it means my relationship with my relations and my possession, sense of possession and relation, whether it is reducing. Nobody will know, only I will know mine. This is introspection. And remember him, be the period ever so small. That means I don't have to, I am busy with so many things. He has made me busy with so many things. So I can normally complain, I don't have time for this to sit. Then we understand, even 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, be the period ever so small, we will try to remember him. Okay, this is the background of the first, and we will go to the second chapter. Renunciation is throwing ourselves entirely at his mercy. Renunciation is not something, we change the dress and go, no. As a mendicant, no. Is throwing ourselves entirely at his mercy. Renunciation is tested only by exposing ourselves to the outer world. Because in a sitting, suppose I sit there, accepting probably Ramana Bhagavan or a few such saints, everybody exposes themselves. Then only, it gets stabilized in them. Because different types of characters, different types of varied experiences coming from different persons, objects, situations, it's a test whether I am in a position to hold on. Yeah. Before taking any drastic step in the spiritual journey, seek guidance from masters. So, reading their biographies will help us a lot. Because that biographical sketch will give us what all they encounter. And the mind becomes, to some extent, become ready to face situations. Otherwise, just by reading this, suppose I jump into it, equipment may not agree, Initially, for some days it will be there, then everything gets exhausted. Inner dialogue takes place only when the hold of the sense of individuality lessens, is a very important thing. Inner dialogue. When the me and mine is dominating my entire realm, I will not be able to hear his words. So I develop a habit of talking to him, whenever time permits. Removing the sense of I-ness is a must. In our case, we cannot say remove, trying to remove, So, say in 100 dealings, right from morning till evening, we can evaluate and see whether we were able to get over from the grips of me and mine, at least in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, Spontaneously, whether we are doing with no vested interest. And whenever our interest comes, we are in a position to overlook it, So it is not removing the sense of I. In our case, trying to remove. Very difficult. It has been with us, So the fellow will not go, but so we can slowly, with a prayer to him. Prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. This is very important. We learn from In Quest of God, every prayer was his own, suiting to his temperament. Suppose we read out the prayer was composed by somebody else. It will probably for the first few days we may have the intellectual thrill or sentimental or emotional level. But it will later on it will unknowingly slip into mechanical. Because it does not come from me originally. I may be able to quote. We don't have to go anywhere. We are every day, for those of us who have been here for decades together, the prayer every day we are chanting, to what extent it has helped us in our spiritual journey. It slips into mechanical chanting. But if the prayer is original, because the approach has come accommodating all the limitations this body has, body, mind, intellect has. So prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. Initially I can borrow words, but ultimately it should be this is what Papa teaches us by. And then total detachment paves the way to take the final plunge. While doing so, ensure that there are no loose ends at the Vyavaharik level. Papa does not want anyone to take an irresponsible step. No. God has placed you with something. Make provision for that. This is another clue he gives. He did not simply left on the day. He made provision for the wife and child to continue their lifestyle. And he did not just disappear. He wrote a letter and then only he left. No loose ends. Otherwise they will be panicking, where is something had happened to him, we have no idea. So God prompted him to make all these arrangements. And that is why he never felt any regret at any point of time. He was very clear, he was made to go through a Grihastha life, and then a time came when he had to leave that. So whatever one has to do at one level, that was completely, perfectly done, and then move to the next stage. Renunciation is throwing ourselves entirely at his mercy. Entirely at his mercy. Renunciation is tested only by exposing ourselves to the outer world. Without making any reservation, without making any arrangement for our stay, without making anything, Suppose we at least try one day in some unknown place and with nothing to fall back upon. How does the body, mind, intellect react to us? Nobody will recognize us, Because we have got an image of ourselves. That will never be acknowledged by anybody because you are an unknown. In a railway station or an airport or a bus stand, suppose you drop yourself, nobody knows you, nobody cares about. How do I react? Different types of people, different types of... Whether somebody may say something, somebody may deny something, somebody may take away something. What happened? Am I in a position to see the finger of God? That is why renunciation is tested only by exposing ourselves to the outer world. Before taking any drastic step in the spiritual journey, seek guidance from Master. That means not impulsively taking any decision. Just because we are fired with some inspiration, we just jump into it. No. You will not be able to hold on. Inner dialogue takes place only when the hold of the sense of individuality lessens. Assert. Sense of individuality, assert, sense of individuality lessons means what? Asserting nature, no? Because the asserting nature will prevent us from hearing his voice. Removing the sense of I-ness is a must. Everything is you. That how am I to do it? I don't know how. The only thing I know is I can pray. And then whenever he subjects me to go through varied experiences, whether I can keep up my equanimity, not losing the balance. Whenever the I-ness is strong, I will lose the balance. I am right, you are wrong, that will come to me always. I am right. Initially, I will say I am right. But then I slowly accept everybody is also right, Like me, they also have equal. God has given them the freedom to say, so I must be able to accommodate. I may differ. Prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. The prayer of somebody else, no. To some extent it might help. Say how to address him. That we need some guidance. How to put it. But the content should be ours, because it is in conformity with our nature. And Papa has been gracious enough to expose it bluntly. It should be exactly according to your own nature. You cannot follow anybody. He will bluntly say that. However great he may be, this is the word used. However great, not belittling their importance, we have to be careful in understanding that word. The life of the individual must grow like a bud into a flower and the flower into a fruit. As we provide the necessary conditions and environments for the growth and fruition of the bud into fruit, so also is it with life. In the life of an adult spiritual aspirant, very important. In the life of the adult spiritual aspirant, the best discipline for his advancement and ultimate realization is the self-imposed discipline. Here, imitation and abject implicit obedience to the law set by anyone, however highly evolved he may be, will, instead of bringing into being an illumined individual, only produce a human robot without initiative, all its inner powers and beauty unexpressed and unrevealed. When we read this, we need not jump into the conclusion that there is no role for the guru or guide. No. He says the keen aspiration for attaining the higher truth must be there. Contact with the divinely illumined personality must also be there. But unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka, very important. But unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. That is why prayers are, we know that we cannot hasten the ripening. So the unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. Because all of us are unique. The simple answer is all of us are unique. That is why we are unable to follow. We write, we learn it by heart, we can reproduce it. We have great reverence for the saint. Everything is accepted, tick, tick, tick. But we are unable to hold on to it, no? Because the equipment is different, nature is different, aptitude, taste, temperament, inclination. Everything is different. So Papa bluntly says this, So I have to find out my own. They are all helpful, no doubt. So prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. Every day we remember, this became very clear to us when we looked at the universal prayer drafted by Papa. Some of you would have observed in the book Poem, the facsimile of this is there, where Papa has written it in a steel pen on those days, and wherever some correction is necessary, that also he has done. Original, based upon his own experience, You and I read it as a matter of discipline. And the second line itself, we are unable to do it. O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to thee. Have we ever surrendered? How many decades we have been telling this? We have shared this 70s, late 70s. At that time, the universal prayer was brought out in a big paper, somebody printed. So when we came to ashram, we were thrilled. So we took 10 or 15 copies like calendar. And in Wayanad, we used to have Sunday Satsang in a remote area. Friends who have got vehicle, they will all come there in a forest. We will all go and sit, spend about a couple of hours. So there the main topic will be this universal prayer. This was distributed to all our participants, and word by word we go through that. Because initially it's so appealing, no doubt. But we get stuck there, second line, third line. I am every day, am I deceiving myself? And why did Mataji ask us to repeat that? So we start thinking. Then the only answer, whether we are right or wrong, is that there is a method called Gunaropanam. We keep on thinking about the attributes, not that we have reached the attributes. But one day, I have been repeating, what will others think? If I am say I must start doing something. So that is how, from my fallen ways, I try to correct myself. To that extent, it will help. Probably Mataji would have thought that if we repeat it religiously, one day we will start understanding what am I telling and what am I doing. O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. Deign to bless me ever with Thy remembrance. O merciful Divine Master, give me strength, purity and peace. Thou art seated in the hearts of all. Thou art all purity, goodness, all love. Thou art a veritable ocean of peace and bliss. Thou art the lover of Thy devotees. That means I am becoming conscious, Am I becoming conscious? Have I become conscious? All these questions come to me, only because I start chanting. Whatever is there, another word is? Thou art seated in the hearts of all. Thou art all purity, all goodness, all love. Thou art a veritable ocean of peace and bliss. Thou art the lover of Thy devotees, refuge of the helpless, Redeemer and Savior of those who resign themselves to Thee. Make me dedicate my life to Thee and to Thy service. May please. Stop. You don't want anybody to hear. Repeat it. Are we? Thou art. When we say thou art, Master, Mother, Father, am I? Is it only a word? Do I mean it? Initially, I may not mean it. But then I start thinking, am I? So we don't say that it will not have any effect. But it will become original only because if it accommodates all that is there in my nature. In spite of probing, have I been able to live up to it? Omkara Swami is, peace prayer, simple. Unlike universal prayer, it is very simple. Adorable presence. Even when we repeat that, we don't think it is addressed to the presence of the Almighty within, Thou who art within and without, above and below and all around. Thou art interpenetrating the very cells of my being. Am I conscious? Thou art the eye of my eyes, ear of my ears, heart of my heart, breath of my breath, soul of my soul, all those things. And then we add one more word. Bless us, dear God, to become aware of Thy presence now and here. We just slip, Why so? Omkarji Maharaj has brought it out from his own experience. We are repeating. If the repetition is instrumental in making us to go inward, then we can say yes. It should. We keep on telling throughout our lifetime, it should, that's all. So this is a very important word. Please think over it. Not that there is no relevance for the prayer. Prayer has got lesser. Prayer crafted by Mahatmas have got its own relevance in our spiritual journey. But yesterday, just like Gandhiji said, repetition alone, no. It's an aid to effort. So the outer prayer is an aid to our inner prayer. It should touch and kindle our own prayer, drafting out my own prayer. So prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. Total detachment paves the way to take the final plunge. Even a vestige of attachment to anything. While doing so, ensure that there are no loose ends at the Vyavaharik level. So then we go to the third chapter, small. New order of life and vows help in keeping up the tempo to actualize the ideal. Uncompromising adherence to self-originated discipline. Self-originated. Papa's life is a testimony, He is not asking anybody to follow. As we have many a time quoted his own words, Don't follow what Ramdas has said unless there is an inner sanction. "100% Democrat. Doesn't impose anything. We have to keep on reading this because we are used to that type of thinking, Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas' suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. Seek guidance always from within. To know that we need a guru. But we should also try to understand what the guru taught us. Have Ramdas in your thoughts as the impersonal, immutable, deathless cosmic spirit. Give up attachment to external forms. Directly you do this, you will attain liberation and immortal joy and peace within yourself. Don't substitute a golden chain for an iron one. Both are causes of bondage. Ramdas never joined any organization for his spiritual growth. Guru within him mysteriously guided him and made everything easy for God realization. Then he found that the best rules to be followed were those which this inner Guru set for him from time to time. It is clear that our guide in such matters must be the Guru within us and not without. So, new uncompromising adherence to self-originated discipline. Self-originated disciplines. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve him in outer forms. By the word, when Papa changed from the ochre dress to the white dress, he brought out the beautiful pillar. Why did he do so? As for Ramdas in the later stages, finding that the orange-colored growth was proving to be an obstacle to his attainment of an all-comprehensive spiritual perfection. That is a stage of Karma Yoga as distinguished by the Gita from Karma Sannyas. God divested him of the Garua and gave him the white cloth in return so that he can move freely amongst all people from the highest to the lowest without either feeling a sense of superiority himself or causing them the least embarrassment. He can now, like a child, freely move and mingle with all his friends and devotees of either sex. This is a privilege he prizes more than the greatest honor or reverence he might receive from the world. Karma Yoga, as distinguished by the Gita as Karma Sannyas. Because in Bhagavad Gita himself, he says that. Take that shelf to self. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve Him in outer forms. That means not merely withdrawing from the field. Wherever we are, we try to do that. Karma Yoga instead of Karma Sannyas.
Not this one. That one.
Small one, I know. That's all right. So that is easy for me to locate. The two people went,
Keep bringing for me.
Two people went. In 5th chapter, 2nd shloka, he says, Sannyasa karma yogasya nashres karo vibhav tayostu karma sannyasa karma yogo vishishyate. The yoga of knowledge and the yoga of action both lead to supreme bliss. Of the two, however, yoga of action, that means karma yoga, being easier for practice, is superior to yoga of renunciation. That is why, if you remember, when Papa took the vows, the first one was, henceforth this life will be consecrated fully for the meditation of Ram and service of Ram. Not merely inward journey. Meditation and this life be henceforth entirely consecrated to meditation and the service of Sri Ram. Very clear, the three vows. Strict celibacy be observed, looking upon all women as mothers. Body be maintained and fed upon the food procured by bhiksha or on what was offered as alms. These were the three vows he took. Absolutely unconventional, and there is no, he did not follow any order. whatever, he offered the clothes and then took this vow, and then even the name also was renounced, Vittal Rao, and then Das of Ram. That is why no Anand or something like that, Saraswati or no. Simple. Das of Ram, Ram Das, servant of Ram. This life be henceforth entirely consecrated to meditation, not merely meditation in the caves, and the service of Sri Ram. So consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve him in outer forms. Each and every word, suppose we ponder, it gives us the essence of his life. Because for all basic things we still need, It can be minimum. Suppose initially we have we need 100 items to make our life comfortable. Probably we may be able to reduce to 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 10, but still we may need something basic, Mother Nature is needed to exist. Simple food. We need simple dress. Suppose Papa was traveling by train. Train is the gift of the society, So minimum is necessary. That is why he said a spiritual life means not bereft of any of this. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve him in outer forms. And fourth is pray for strength and courage to adhere to ideals. You have prompted us to take this. I don't know what action my body, my equipment can help me. Please, at every moment you should give me that strength to bear. You made me to take vows. Please enable me, empower me to hold on to this, and pray for strength. And Papa says, O Ram, O love infinite, protector of all the worlds, it is by thy wish alone that thy humble slave has been induced to adopt sannyas. In thy name alone, O Ram, he has given up samsara and cut asunder all bonds, all ties. O Ram, bless thy poor devotee with thy grace. May Ramdas be endued with strength, courage, faith to carry out in thy name, Ram, the following vows and bear all trials and all kinds of privations that may beset the path of a sannyasi in his passage through the rough and perilous life of a mendicant. So this is coming from the bottom of the heart. By myself I cannot, please. So pray for strength and courage to adhere to ideals. New order of life and vows help in keeping up the tempo to actualize the ideal. Uncompromising adherence to self-originated discipline. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality to serve him in outer forms. Pray for strength and courage to adhere to ideals. Because to be very, very honest and frank, Papa did not encourage the usual way of sannyas at all. Because he writes, blunt to assume sannyas in the hope that by taking merely that step you would realize God is perfectly wrong. One more word about sannyas. Sannyas is not a thing to be received from or given to anybody. It is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. So receiving initiation from any external guru can make the disciple only an apparent sannyasi, struggling through tedious and painful courses of sadhana undertaken because of the established rules and regulations, observed all through with the growing ego sense at the base of it. So when we came across this letter and about his approach to sannyas, then later on we found that he has not made any mention about this in the trust deed also, that a sannyasi should head this organization. No. He only said continuing trustees will appoint. No? So that means the karma sannyas and karma yoga, one should be very, very clear. And sannyas is not bad, or one has to take it by oneself. Then he should be able to keep it up just like how he kept up. All these things touch and kindle in us by these words. New order of life and vows help in keeping up the tempo to actualize the ideal. Uncompromising adherence to self-originated disciplines. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve Him in outer forms. Not demanding anything, Pray for strength and courage to adhere to ideals. Now we all find, when an in-depth study of In Quest of God, what all comes out, And we also try to understand which are the areas for our improvement in our sadhana. Okay, so today we completed 2 chapters. Renunciation is throwing ourselves entirely at His mercy. Renunciation is tested only by exposing ourselves to the outer world. Before taking any drastic step in the spiritual journey, seek guidance from masters. Inner dialogue takes place only when the hold of the sense of individuality lessens. Removing the sense of I-ness is a must. Prayer becomes most effective when it is original and in one's own words. Total detachment paves the way to take the final plunge. While doing so, ensure that there are no loose ends at the vyavaharic level. New order of life and vows help in keeping up the tempo to actualize the ideal. Uncompromising adherence to self-originated discipline. Consecrating life to dwell on the inner reality and serve Him in outer forms. Pray for strength and courage to adhere to ideals. Something for all of us to deeply ponder. He is making us to think again and again, so that our journey toward the ultimate gets hastened and smoothened also. So let us pray to Him. You are providing everything, but please enable me to assimilate and let it get stamped on my mind, so that I don't slip into my old ways of thinking. Let this prayer be very, very strong. Hari Om. Om.
Swamiji. So renunciation is innate, it has to come from inside only.
Inside.
Inside. Absolutely.
Anytime.
Inside only. Outer may be an instrumental call, that's all. When Puja Swamiji as Ananta Shivan, when he joined the ashram in 1949, and when he started involving himself in various types of activities, he himself revealed all these to us. And after 7 or 8 months, suddenly he felt, I have not come here for this. He was involved in some accounts work or something. So he went and stood before Papa and said, Papa, I have not come for this. I want to lead a contemplative life. Immediately Papa said, very good. You do one thing, you go to Rishikesh, take sannyas and be there. And Swamiji said, I was taken aback. I thought he will say something, but instead of saying, you go to Rishikesh, take sannyas there and remain. And to make it more clear, I will just read, many a time everybody has heard, but for those who are hearing it for the first time. So after going there, and after taking sannyas, Swamiji wrote a letter to Papa. And Papa replied back. We did not get the original letter, but we got the reply. This is enough for our, as a sadhaka, this is more than enough. 11th July 1950, this letter was addressed to Pujya Swamiji, who had become Swami Sachidananda from Ananta Shivan, and he was then in Rishikesh. Beloved Ramdas got your loving letter of the 3rd instant. We were looking forward to it. Glad that you have taken the new name Sachidananda and assumed sannyas. See? You now know that your life is entirely dedicated to God. Feel conscious of this every moment. This thought itself will help you in realizing the goal. Of course, our hearty blessings are there with you for the attainment of self-illumination. Now, instructions, do sadhana in a disciplined manner. Be regular in your early morning meditations. Avoid tamasic influences either from within or without. Do not get involved in any external work, however exalted it may appear to be. Concentrate on the sadhana. Because he said, I want to lead a contemplative life. His nature demanded that. So Papa did not, uncompromisingly he said, do not get involved in any external work, however exalted it may appear to be. Concentrate on the sadhana. Occasionally go and have darshan of Swami Shivanandaji. His company, even for a short while, will be a source of inspiration to you. Keep before you the central truth that God dwells within you and that you are His manifestation. Let your mind always dwell on Him. Let Ramnam ring on your lips whenever you are not doing any meditation or reading. You may reduce reading to the minimum. Learn by heart stotras that elevate your mind. Be free and cheerful like a bird and feel assured that the divine is at your back and you are sure to reach the goal. Love and blessings, Ramdas. He suggested, no doubt. Swamiji said, at the time of telling, I had no idea at all. But when once he expressed this, then started thinking. When Swamiji's 50th year dedication was celebrated in 1999, many devotees wanted to bring out a souvenir. So many people are telling so many things about Swamiji's previous life. So one day we went to his room and said, we want to have an appointment with you. He smiled and said, what appointment? I said, we have a lot of questions, we want an answer. Because it should be authentic, So many people say so many things. I wanted to hear from your own. Okay, then we took the tape recorder. All these questions were, and then he answered everything. That is how we came to know. Otherwise, you would also not know. whatever questions we wanted to ask, we asked. And some of it or most of it we have brought it out in the first article named as Seeker to Saint.
Swamiji,
Huh? Huh?
Auntie, repeat it.
Swamiji,
Huh?
one day we also want to know your sadhana methods, your sadhana days.
Now
I've been asking you so many times.
Now let us concentrate upon IQG.
Yes, Swamiji.
No.
Whatever you say, Swamiji.
So these are all touch and kindle so many aspects, It helps a lot. Because otherwise we will be thinking so many things, We assume so many things, we attribute so many things. Actually, their life is an open text, but we don't read the open text. We read it with our own color text, out of our attachment, our something. And we give so many things, not willfully we want to say anything wrong, but because of our love and affection, we add so many things. So we took everything from him direct. Everything was covered. Only few. Swamiji said you need not cover the whole thing. Okay. So whatever is needed for a sadhaka, that was brought out. So the idea is, why we remember this, though it was suggested by Papa, he did not want Papa did not want him to rely on anything outer. Inside. Anyhow, more about it tomorrow. Every now and he provides, This letter also, we have no idea at all. When we were searching for something, somehow we got it, that's all. Immediately, we still don't know where it is kept. So immediately we typed it out and kept it. Many of these, Swamiji, for example, Papa's first meeting with Gandhiji, nowhere we can find it out, Only during his foreign travels, when he revealed this, immediately when we started going through the lectures of Swami Ramdas, then immediately, this is how it started. The starting point. Ram. So there should be an instrumental cause. When he said Gandhiji, that was his first spiritual touch. And mysteriously we are guided. Even when we took up that project called In Search of Papa, all these letters, now sannyasa we read, you rely on yourself, not on anything external. Where from, how did we know? But mysteriously he will make us to go to that particular book, go through it, think about it, and then find his letter. Then we find his very life is a demonstration of what he has written. That is how it becomes authentic, And it gave us, it was instrumental in making us to go deeper into his teachings, this In Search of Papa. One day in the same room, after the satsang over, when we came out, suddenly, the inner call came. In Search of Papa, do that. In search of, we have no idea, absolutely zero idea. But when we started hearing, it was a clear message, In Search of Papa. How do we do that? Then, started. And luckily then he made us to go to, for, nature cure in Dharmasthala. 15 days we were free from all daily routine. We had a lot of time. So from there it started brewing. Then one by one, a quotation, explanation, an illustration, and then an explanation. In a couple of months' time, everything got lined up. Many were from lectures, many were from letters, many were from the speaks, glimpses of divine vision, Ramdas talks. And it also gave us to go again in search of Papa in so many. Even now, I will not say it is complete. It is still a coma. But it was a wonderful journey. So what we mean is, when we take one step, he mysteriously guides us. And Puja Swamiji also in one of his letters, he mentioned that, how he was not aware why it should happen, why it should happen. Later on here he said, I realized all these things are pre-designed. Apparently, when he joined the army, his idea was to lose himself there, And how every time, even in a musket training, how he was left out when the 3 other people died. He said, I thought I will also die, but I was spared. Now only I realize why he made me to survive that. Like that, at that time we may not know at all. So many things get revealed. The preordained, everything is preordained. He has sent us means he has got day for yesterday we were reading, he has got a master plan. So he will take us exactly in the designed pattern, which we may not know at that time. We need not know at all. After some time he makes us to realize, and we find everything is joining properly there. Even these talks, it all came because of this instrumental cause. Again, already it's 4:40. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.